Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Welcome. It's the Evening Rush each and every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dawn and Rainbow. You already know what it is.
You almost forgot what came after 7?
7 and 8.
You was like 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Like you didn't know 8 came.
I had to take a breath. Like
okay. I forgot
breathe.
you.
Oh, okay.
He's still going through the stuff.
Welcome everybody. Shout out to everybody out there in Los Angeles. You already know what it is. Shout out to Atlanta, Hawaii, the whole Europe, and of course, New York City. We love you. You already know what it is. Call in if you want to call in. We're talking about narcissistic behavior, 929-282-0266. If you want to support the show, you can also subscribe. Hit that like button, which I definitely love when you do. And then you can also support us by Cash App with $, Evening Rush. Today we got special guests in the building. Shout out to Jamie.
I feel like we're on The Price is Right.
Shout out to KC. And shout out to Samantha. I appreciate all three of you ladies. You know, it's great when you can just, go into one of your groups and listen, I need some co-hosts to just, jump on and y'all pop in. And I love it. Each one of y'all have your own podcast. So tell us about your podcast real quick.
Is it who, me or her?
Either or.
Casey.
Oh, so I have my own podcast. Sorry. I have my own podcast called The Crotch Goblin Caregiver, where I talk about marriage, motherhood, mental health, and murder. I do murder podcasts sometimes. And then my husband and I actually...
I'm like, murder? What are you talking about, murder?
More like true crime, but it doesn't sound as good when I say marriage, mental health, motherhood, and true crime. So I was just like, we're going to throw murder out there. And then my husband...
Giving people ways to snap.
Yeah, it's what it sounds. Yeah.
And then my husband and I just started a podcast this last week called Modern Middle Class Marriage, because that's what we struggle with. Modernizing a guy from the 80s versus a girl from the 90s, a guy who grew up in Oakland versus a girl who sheltered in New Mexico, trying to come together and operate, with those two very different worlds and raise kids. And we're also very middle class, and how much financial struggles and choices and everything has to compound on the stresses of us as the nucleus and our kids as well. So that's what
that sounds good though. That sounds good.
I like that.
How do they listen to this?
Well, right now, our newest podcast from last week is pretty much just on Spotify and those little beginner podcasts, but hopefully it'll get bigger. Mine can be heard on all platforms, The Crotch Goblin Caregiver, because my kids are my friends.
Jamie?
I am a entrepreneur, and so I have a product. I'm a stylist. I am a event planner. I'm a community activist. And so I don't have necessarily my own podcast. I'm on the Who Dat podcast, and I have to say that with the accent because it kind of gives you that whole Jamaican vibe. And we just
listen, I was going to say it, but I wasn't going to say it. But go ahead.
We talk about everything. From social issues to, we just had a gamer on, like a dude that does gaming and makes $1,000 a week, nice. On Sunday. So I do that, and I'm a mom. You know what I'm saying? I got a 14-year-old son, and that's about it.
I would have never thought you had a 14-year-old.
I'm 37.
I was gonna say you look.
Yes.
You do not look like you have a 14-year-old kid.
It was so funny is his little girlfriend thought that I was another girl. Like when she met me, like I was like, no, that's my child. You know what I'm saying?
That is the one that I bred.
Oh, my bad, y'all. He's 15 now. I'm sorry. He's sitting right here. He's like, nah, give me my 1 year. And he just turned
Give
15.
it to me. Yeah, today's my godson's birthday. He just turned 17. He thinks he's grown.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Najee
Samantha?
thinks he's grown.
Oh, I'm sorry. Samantha?
So I have one child that I birthed, and since my sister passed away in 2019, I've been caring for her kids. She had 8, all the school-age children anyway, and I'm in school.
You said 8 kids?
8 kids.
So now you got 9 children out of nowhere.
Girl, take it all in. That's a lot, ain't it?
Lord have mercy. Lord.
No, let's kind of know it together. So
Dawn, but you brought that on yourself. Samantha didn't. She didn't ask for that. You asked for those 9 children.
You got 9 kids?
Well, I mean, yeah.
What? You didn't ask for them?
No,
you
man.
did. You did the business. You made them.
Oh my Jesus!
You made all 9 of them?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
That's what I'm saying. You had time. Like they came in spurts. She had one child and she's like, all right, I'm good. And then her sister, bless her soul, something happened to her. And then out of nowhere, she got 9 babies now that she didn't plan for.
It's 7 boys and 1 girl.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
My God.
Oh, them boys is going in. I know that's going. Them boys is going in.
And what's the ages?
The youngest is 6. He just turned 6, and the oldest is an adult. He's 20.
Oh Lord Jesus.
29.
Oh Lord.
I want to say, if I'm not exaggerating.
I'll be like, so you gonna help me take care of these kids, right?
You know what? That's a whole nother story, but
he's putting in that work. He was just giving out donations, like sprinkle here, sprinkle there. Like, you want a baby?
Nah, listen. That is so far from the truth.
Wow.
I mean, but like I said, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We got time.
Awesome.
I ain't rushing. You know what I'm saying? I just want to shout out our sponsors real quick so we get this out the way. Shout out to the gallery each and every Tuesday, CaribbeanPowerJam.com. Shout out to Industry 21 Magazine. Shout out to my boy Dane. We are also in the magazine, so make sure y'all cop that. A Cause of Concern, a Solution Network. Yo, big shout out to them. You already know what it is. It's going down December 17th. Christmas toy drive. Make sure everybody's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Down in Arizona. So, shout out to Envious Creations. You already know she rakes out clothing. And she does a bunch of other things. And shout out to Martine Felton. If you need a life coach, a great book, or a tarot card reading, make sure you hit up Martine Felton at martinefelton.com. All right.
I'm sorry, ladies. I meant to give y'all a disclaimer before we got on. If you ever meet Don, just don't look him directly in the eye.
Here you go.
Because you'll be pregnant. Okay?
Got it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Don't look him directly in the eye. It's like Medusa when she's turning people into stone. If you look at Dawn directly in the eye, you wind up pregnant. So
that's what I say about mine.
So not true. So not true. But anyway. So yo, we're gonna jump into trending topics real quick. We ain't gonna stay in it long because a lot of tragedy going on in the world still.
I don't want to talk about it.
But let's get into the first trending topic. Go ahead, Rainbow.
I'm about to say which is the first one. The first one, the first one you sent me is about Shaniqua Robinson, the 25-year-old girl that was found dead in Mexico. She was supposed to be in Mexico on a trip with her friends. And supposedly they told her parents that she had liquor poisoning and they took her to the doctor. And then next thing you know, homegirl was dead. They Came back from Mexico, brought the parents her luggage. They got the autopsy from Mexico, and they said that the girl had blood force trauma, and her spine was broken, cracked in half, or some shit like that.
Broken neck.
Yeah.
Broken neck.
No, they said that the spine, like not just the neck.
Spine.
Really?
Yeah. So, which means they
like
beat
somebody
the girl
stepped
up.
on her back type situation.
They beat her up badly, and then just
not they. It was one girl. They did show the video. The video is out now.
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, we don't want to watch it.
To death.
This is my biggest intake on this, and I'm not, like I said, I ain't staying on it long. Know who your friends are. Yes, she has been around these different people for 5 years, but are they truly her friends? Like, one of them is supposed to be her best friend, and he's a guy. And he's the one who went on Instagram, and he's the one that told the mother she died of liquor poisoning. And you can hear his voice literally saying, "You're not going to fight back." So, this is crazy. And after I get off of this, I'm actually going to have a whole conversation with my daughter, because I want her to understand when she always want to go away and I say, no, these are the reasons why.
Right.
I'm not too big a, she's grown. She's 23 years old, but still, there's times I want to go to Mexico. No. Because in all actuality, she went to this foreign country and they just ruled it as an accidental death. And they didn't do no work to see what was investigate. They didn't do none of that. And it's crazy that this young lady lost her life to people
that she thought was her friends.
And it's crazy. So, big shout out to her family. Rest in peace. Condolences. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So the next one, go ahead, Rainbow.
Oh God. I gotta do I'm doing everything today. The next one is about the young lady who was with Pop Smoke the night that he died. She did an interview on hip hop. There was an episode of Hip Hop Homicides, and she was on it. And she just pretty much told the story of what, in her words, of what happened the night that he died, that he was killed. I ain't gonna say he just died. He was killed. Yeah, so she was just and her name is Amelia Rose. And she told him she was sitting on the bed and started she started taking her clothes off. I guess they was about to get it on.
No, they wasn't. No.
Oh no, she was just going, because he was in the shower, wasn't he?
She was going to sleep.
He was going to sleep. He was in the shower. I guess he was washing up so he could go to sleep. And
that sounds about right.
No, that don't sound about right. He was getting washed up.
No. Friend of the room. Come on. All right. So the whole moral of the story is, Pop, she's going on saying, what's going on with her and Pop, and unfortunately she was there when Pop passed away, and she still has dreams about it and everything else.
That is traumatizing. She has PTSD.
Yeah, traumatizing. Yeah. You know
she
what I mean?
has PTSD. Anybody in that situation would have PTSD. You would vividly remember that every night. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's very traumatizing. And I hope, now that she was able to talk and express herself, that hopefully she can get a piece of closure to move on, and
Right.
No, it's not gonna happen. You can tell it. You can tell your story as many times, but she was there.
Right.
There's no way that she's gonna ever forget what happened.
That's true.
And I feel sorry for her, because she's an innocent bystander, and she was just there minding her business, whatever she was doing. And now this
in all actuality, all of them were innocent bystanders. Him getting robbed and him getting murdered, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't something like.
I'm not saying that was his fault either. But what I'm just trying to say, she's a nobody. she's just a regular civilian. She's not a rapper. She wasn't there for nothing. She did, she was just there to be with her friend.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's dead. Now she has to. She physically saw that, and that's traumatizing for her.
Very. Well, like I said, trending topics was crazy. Tragedy on tragedy, and once again, rest in peace to everybody in those situations and everything that had to go down. And hopefully, one, I hope Samantha gets. I keep saying her name wrong. The young lady that passed away in Cabo, I hope she gets closure.
I would say, don't be putting that on me. I'm here. I'm right
my bad.
I'm right here. Don't be putting that on me.
I wasn't doing that. I'm
like, Samantha.
I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm bad with names. Don't kill me.
Horrible with names.
I'm bad with names.
He has to know you for a while to get your name right.
Yeah, I mess up everything.
Unless it's an easy name.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
everybody here is good. No. We're not killing you off the island.
She said, "Don't be killing me on."
Dang.
So we're gonna get into the topic of the day: narcissistic behavior. We came up with this topic because I was talking to some of my friends as usual.
You found that they was narcissists.
One of them went through a serious relationship that at the end of her conversation, she was like, well, he was a narcissist and he was so bad to me. And so it made me say to myself, what traits might I have or somebody I'm around might have that are narcissistic?
Do you know that sometimes people say the word narcissist, they have no idea what it means. They just figure it's something to say. They be like, you're a narcissist. You be like, explain it to me.
So I wanted people to have clarity on narcissism.
Okay.
And
what is it? What is it on?
Narcissism.
Narcissism?
Whatever. I want people to have clarity on it. I can't take it. I swear I can't. I want people to have I want people to have clarity on it. And I offered these 3 great women to come on, tell their stories, tell their opinion of what narcissism, what Rainbow just said might be, and go from there. So we're gonna start with Samantha. She has a story to tell us, and she's gonna tell us about it. So go ahead, Samantha.
Okay, so like most people, I didn't really know, or I'm not gonna say didn't know, but just didn't really identify with the whole narcissist thing. I've heard it a million times, but I didn't really experience it until this whole situation happened with me. My sister passed away. When she passed away, she had, like I said, she had 8 kids. Her baby was 6 months at the time she was diagnosed, but when she passed away, he was only 2. And the dad wasn't in the life of this child at all that I knew of. And I had been in this child's life since he was born, basically. He came in maybe about a year ago. And I had heard stories about him, but I'm one of those people that I believe I meet you where you're at. So I don't go anything based off of what somebody else tells me, because I have to interact with you to get my own idea. So I gave him a shot, talked to him and everything. After about 2 conversations didn't go his way, he was just like, I'm filing for full custody. And he filed for full custody of my nephew. So, of course, I asked for a DNA test, because I was like, well, hopefully he ain't the daddy and we can go from there. And he, I'm like, no shade, sis, but I'm praying. No shade. But I'm like, I'm praying that this is not the daddy, so we can go ahead and live our best life and finish doing what we've been doing with the rest of these kids. So it turns out he was the dad. We got a mediation order set in place, and we came up with an agreement on visitations. We did visitation. On the very first visit, he told me he was going to do away with the lawyers and that we could just talk and go between us. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. We get along. I told you I respect the fact you want to be in your kid's life. That's cool. You didn't need to go get no lawyer, nothing like that. So from there, we talked. He came down for visits and met with my nephew and everything. My nephew loved being around him. So again, this is his father. In the Black community, you don't really get that a whole lot. In any community, actually. I'm not going to say just the Black, but the Black community, they really, really, really need their dads. All kids do, but I know firsthand from being a little brown girl. So, anywho, Memorial Day weekend came, and he actually took my nephew all the way back to his home state, and I'm all the way in Houston, and we're just gonna say 7 states over. It was more than that, but we'll just say 7. So he took him back up there with him, and he cut off all communication. He wouldn't return any text messages, emails. He cut off all social media where I couldn't contact him. And we had a great relationship. So a lot of manipulation and all that good stuff. So I called my lawyer, find out some papers weren't stamped by the judge. So I'm like, well, we just go to Washington and get them ourselves. So we flew all the way up there. We only had a P.O. box. Just using the P.O. box, we got a private investigator. She found him within, I want to say 5-10 minutes of looking for him, which made me so mad. Because I'm like, why couldn't I do that? But I don't have the same technology.
I had to pay you for this?
I was so mad, but she went ahead and did her job. She found him. We had to go to court 3 different times. After that, we were able to go back home with temporary guardianship for 60 days, which gave us enough time to have him, put him in school. I could put him back in all his sports and stuff that he played and everything like that. And we went to court in my hometown, where he originally filed at. And when we did that, we finally went to court a few months ago, and he won full custody. They gave no grace at all. Like, literally, we don't have any visitations. I haven't seen or talked to my nephew since I kissed him goodbye. We had less than 24 hours to turn him over.
How did they even prove that he was a fit parent? Like, he's kidnapped him in the first place.
They don't care. He's the biological father. He's the next parent. And he's full-blooded narcissist. Like, I've never met one. And I hate using that word. And I hate hearing it. But once I heard it and I met him, I said, that is his nickname. That is his freaking nickname. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, he need to go ahead and go down there and change his name.
Because it for me, it feels like if your sister was still alive, like he wouldn't even want to be in the child's life.
She was crazy. He wouldn't have did it. He probably would have stayed away.
No, not that he wouldn't have did what he did, but I don't think he would have even tried to be in the child's life.
No, he wouldn't have did any of it. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, he wouldn't have did none of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the thing with narcissists too is that, especially parental kind of narcissist, when it comes to their kids, it's not like, you're my son, I'd die for you, I would, do crazy work to provide for you. It's more that you're my property. You're
my son.
You're my son, but you're the piece I get to hold up to society to say, look, nothing's wrong with, with my dick. My sperm works great and it produces sons. Like, this is the thing you get to use for society to say there's nothing wrong with me. It's my thing that proves that I work, so not having that chess piece, because narcissists, I feel like, are very about their perspective, their reputation, their image, and not having his son after his mother dies, it makes society feel like, well, you must be a deadbeat. Whether he's a good father or not, having that child in his possession now balances out the whole, like, well, he's not so much a deadbeat. He may not be a great dad, but he took his son after mom died.
And it's so deep.
You didn't tell the best part. You didn't tell them the best part about the wife.
I didn't. So, okay, so let's wind it back. So all the stuff I just told you. Now keep all of that in mind. So he actually was married the entire time dealing with my sister and did not tell her he was married until my sister was like in love, googly eyes, butterflies in her stomach. So she was like, so he's leaving her. That's what he told me. And then come to find out that this is his wife. The other part I'm not going to say because I feel like that's really insensitive. So I'm going to leave that part out. But it's a major key. So I do have I'm trying to get an appeal right now so I can get my nephew back. That's my number one goal.
Ladies, when these men tell you they're going to leave their wife, don't believe them.
They're not.
They're not going nowhere.
Red flags.
Because if they wanted to leave them, they didn't need you to be in the picture to lead them. They would have left anyway.
They would have already left.
They don't need you to leave their wife. If they going to leave, they going to leave.
Right. So I do have a GoFundMe account. And the link is down there. I'm trying to get enough money to get together so I can get an appeal. I lost a lot of money going all the way up there to his state fighting because I was there for more than 17 days.
I feel like the judge might have been a narcissist too.
Oh my! I couldn't
Wow.
believe. So I did go down there and do a little bit of politicking.
Don't wow me.
Yeah. I did go down. Her seat was up for grabs this year, and I did go down there with a bunch of signs protesting against her, telling people the story. And some people were like, "Oh, that's who I voted for. What happened?" And I'm like, "The nerve! I don't want to talk to you." And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you who you voted for." So I explained it to him.
They
And everybody asked me
no
like,
better. If they don't have if they don't have a story to like, oh well, she did this. People like, you don't know what to do. You just vote to vote. When I vote, Democrat. I don't even know what the hell it is. Democrat.
That was one of the main things. We was like, don't.
And that's
vote
not good.
based off
That's
on
not
party.
good at all.
Yeah. So somebody asked me what she could have done differently. Is there anything she could have done differently that would have kept me from coming down? I'm like, absolutely. I said she could have done grace period, where she gave us until the end of the year since he was already in school and made us give him to his dad for every single holiday this year. All of them.
Yeah,
And then
because
we
you just the whole
transition.
taking
You
and
right. The whole thing is, it feels like she cared. She had no empathy for this child.
Right.
None.
Like, family court.
You're uprooting this child. Like, this man is fairly new in his life. Like, this is not who he.
He doesn't know him, and that's
really
crazy.
He knows that's his father, and yes, he likes to see him, but this is not who he's used to being with.
Right.
After
and
he
has
took him,
a whole
it
life
changed.
Here. He has an entire life here in Texas.
He didn't want to go. He didn't want to be with him after he took him.
That's the whole thing is children know, and he's 6. He knows if he wants to be with someone or not. Right. Clearly, if he doesn't want to be with him, there's a problem.
Yeah, they don't care.
And you need to listen to that child.
We do.
When children are going through custody, because when they're a certain age, they be like, oh, you get to pick who you want to go. That little boy at 6 years old, no, he didn't want to go with his father, and he shouldn't have had to.
Right. Yeah. So he also was playing football. They took him mid-season. He was the quarterback this year because I put him in all kind of sports. I got into a whole back and forth with a lady
quarterback
on Facebook. She was like, you're acting like you are just so privileged to this child. That's his father. And I was like, well, let me explain something to you. Not like a father that sees his son every day, was there at the birth, signed the birth certificate, was very, very, those type of dads. Hey, I get it. We wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation because he probably would have had him as soon as my sister passed away.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole big problem with that. But after our conversation, she donated to my GoFundMe account.
But not even just that. She took that child away from his other 7 siblings.
Say that part. That's what I said. That's the main reason why I'm arguing. They've already gone through this tragedy of losing their mom. Now they got to go through losing their brother, the baby.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then your older nephew could have. Maybe he should be the one that's trying to get the child.
Well,
my oldest one, I thought about that.
Before we go in. I want to before we take a break. Before we go any deeper, and we have to take a break. But I just want to read what narcissistic personality disorder is. It's narcissistic personality disorder is one of several types of personality disorders. Is a mental condition in which people have an inflicted sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention or admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. But behind a mask of extreme confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest criticism. So that is what narcissism is.
Yeah, I'm not a narcissist. I don't care if you criticize me.
When we come back from break, I gotta tell you what narcissistic women are. So take a second. If you want to get a podcast and you need to know how to do that, here we go.
Looking to podcast shows and do not know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that. Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
We are back. Evening Rush. Each and every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dawn and Rainbow. We have
That's
a special
me.
guest in the building, Jamie, Samantha, and KC. Before I go any further, make sure everybody come through Christmas toy drive with the cause and concern and solution. December 17th, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Superhero theme. We will also have a live performance from Nequasia with DJ Sue Young, and Diamond Z will also be performing live at Irizora 9112 144th Place, Queens, New York. So make sure y'all pull up. Pardon me, guys. I don't know what it is. I think it's all the narcissism. The narcissism going on. You know what I said? I said what I said.
Narcissism.
I said what I said.
Like a word. That don't even sound like a word.
So first of all, shout out to Mother Two. Shout out to TK. They both are in the chat.
It's crazy.
Yeah, big time.
I completely agree.
I have to say this first because women, to me, I feel have a different side of narcissism. So one, they're highly concerned about their look. Two, they don't take no for an answer. Three, they can flirt with anyone. Four,
it sounds like men can do this too.
They find it hard to apologize. That's most women. Thank you.
Some.
5, the lack of empathy for others. 6,
I don't have a problem with apologizing. I'm sorry.
They don't negotiate, they manipulate. And 7, they're highly competitive. So those are 7 signs of a woman narcissist.
Why is that women? That just sounds like a narcissist. So what does it say for men? So what does it say for men?
Yeah.
Google
First of all, y'all don't know how to say sorry.
That's a
completely
lie.
I go through this all the
Don't
time.
say that. Don't say all women.
None of y'all can take no for an answer. More of I see
That's
this all
what's
the
called
time.
a princess complex. We grow up being told we're princesses and stuff like that, and so telling us no is hard for us to understand because we were not told.
Are you trying to say I made my daughter a narcissist?
Yeah, for sure. This really it'd be the daddy.
I don't believe I did. I think I did a great job.
Don, you don't.
You're in denial.
LaShawn, no to nothing. So why would she expect another man
so
to
far
tell
from
her
the
no?
truth.
She be like, well, it's all right because I'll ask my daddy.
Okay, just because she asked doesn't necessarily, don't put me on the spot like that. That is so wrong.
Casey got something to say. Look.
To support you a little bit here, Don, we also have a daughter and a son. We have an 8-year-old daughter and a 6.5-year-old son. My daughter could come up to him with those beautiful little princess balls of beautiful eyes and say, "Daddy, can I?" Without question. My son, she could do something. She could smack him, come straight up and just co-cock my son in the back of the head. Jasmine. Whereas my son will come in and do the same thing and be like, "Son, what the hell?" There's just such a transition between daddy's little girl and this is my tough little man. And I think all men do that with their daughters.
Yeah, no. I would agree with you.
Fair, I'm harder on my daughter than my son. She's my oldest, and for some reason it's that biological
your son is gonna be a mama's boy.
And he's probably, but see, I'm because I've jumped into this world of narcissism, my parenting has changed a lot.
See, I was balance to it. You are
because if I could bring a different perspective here, yes, as much as it sucks, statistically, men are more narcissistic. There are more narcissistic men. That's why more serial killers are men, specifically white men. And a lot of the serial killers, I don't know.
Hold on. Time out. That is so not true.
You said that so smooth.
Yeah, but no, no, it's not. No, it's not because after the 2 dudes in the car shooting people, those are some serial killers.
She didn't say only.
But go ahead.
No, but I'll own it though.
Yeah.
Like, let's address the room here. I am the only white woman here, and I'll be the first one to say,
No, we appreciate you.
95% of
Listen, I
serial
do not
killers.
have white privilege. I'm going to talk about them.
Exactly. So it's just like, to bring the different perspective here, though, women can be narcissists. My mother was where I learned what this world even was. Like,
How long
I
ago
felt
was
like
that?
I was very like love is blind, because up until about 2020, actually, it was December of the pandemic. Before that, my relationship with my mother has always felt, there was just something in me that it just like, I didn't, as soon as I could leave, I ran away to the Marine Corps at 18 to get away from her. Anytime it was time to come home, I had this like something in my chest, like sitting there like, oh my God, I can't stay here on leave for too many days because I'll start going nuts. Anytime my mom would come to see me, there was always this gut feeling of like, I don't want to be near her. And then when my husband and I got honorably separated from the Marine Corps, we had a choice: move to the Bay Area near his family or move to New Mexico near my family. It would have been smarter to move to New Mexico. Like, it's cheaper, it's more financially fit, there's great jobs there. But the fear of living near my mother and her being in my life when I had a 1-year-old, I was pregnant at the time. She's notorious for taking my moments from me and turning them into her moments to share with family and friends. So I was like, nope, we're going to move. So, but I didn't even know what those things were until the pandemic. So obviously the pandemic's the whole thing. So during Christmas, I was like, fuck this. We're going to go see my family because I'm going nuts. I don't have much of a relationship with your family. I got to go do something else. So I go to see them, and I got to watch my mother interact in the exact same way she had interacted with me when I was a kid. But because it was my daughter and I had not been parenting her the way I was parented, I had become so self-aware and focused on doing things differently, what I didn't like or what I did like, that when I got to see her doing the exact same things I had grown up with to somebody that has not been raised that way and see how it affected her, that was the moment that I realized there's something more serious going on here than just like, I don't like my mom. And that's when I started diving into, what is narcissism? How many of these traits do you have? How many of these things are you expressing? And as I talked to my siblings, we all started to realize, like, this is why we can't connect with her. There's no bond. There's no like,
wow,
oh, mom, come
all
give
of
me
y'all feel this way.
snuggies.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2. So I'm the oldest, and I have a younger sister and a younger brother. But as we kind of went on this journey together, with me leading, like, hey, I know this word gets thrown around a lot. It's kind of like the new buzzword of right now, because that's what everyone started focusing on in the pandemic, was mental health and narcissism and, you know, gaslighting.
They had to spend too much time inside with each other. That's what it was.
Exactly.
Like, you don't really know someone's personality until you have to spend a lot of time inside with them. And a lot of married couples weren't spending that much time together because they were always either at work or things like that. They would only spend like evenings.
Right.
We eat and go to sleep.
Exactly. And there was a word that like specifically came up for me that changed the game, because when I've heard the word narcissist, I've always thought of somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer, like a serial killer, some abusive person. Like, this guy beats the crap out of me, and he drinks and he smokes and he cheats. Like, that's the kind of narcissism I had grown up thinking that's what that is. Until I learned that there's 2 forms. There's overt narcissism and covert narcissism. Overt narcissists are those guys that we've been grown up, at least us women have been grown up to notice. Stay away from the abusers, the drinkers, the cheaters. What they don't tell you is the covert narcissist, the one that doesn't do really a lot of those things, but they're the pastor of your church, or they're like the neighborhood great guy, or they're the best teacher in the school, but they don't beat anyone, they don't drink. But behind the scenes, they're screaming in your face. They're telling you that they're breaking you down mentally, psychologically, and emotionally, but they never touch you. Because then you see a lot of these relationships where a lot of women are kind of like, I would have rather he beat me than spent 10 years hearing what I've heard, or being broken down, or being told that I'm worthless.
Mentally breaking someone down is worse than physically breaking them down.
Now
you done broke their spirit. Now they think they're trash, they're shit. There's no one. They tell you things like, no one else wants you.
Okay, I've never done all of that.
You're not
The
even
first
playing.
set of stuff, the old me, I can.
You out here beating people up, Don?
No, not the beating people, the drinking, the cheating, the
I was
the
gonna say we
mental
never had this
abuse
conversation. All the years I
situation.
know
Yeah,
you ain't never told me you beat nobody ass.
that's the old me. No, I never women, never nothing, not in my repertoire. But okay,
But
go ahead, finish. I
women
was really
typically, there
the
are
whole
more
being.
women.
I'm not.
There are more women who are covert narcissism. That's why
Well,
we don't necessarily relate them to narcissism, because covert narcissism is still something that people are learning to put in their vocabulary. So when we think of narcissism, we think men because of what we've been groomed to see as narcissism. Whereas that's where I started my whole education about narcissism was my mom, because I was like, well, she actually never beat me. She never drank. Like, she never smoked or did any of these things. She didn't punch holes in the wall, but she was constantly talking about my weight when I was a teenager. She was constantly chastising my friends and my boyfriends and my interests and the things that I enjoyed. Like, I'm a white girl, all right. I love Fall Out Boy. I love Nickelback. I love all the weird emo things from the 90s.
Well, are you trying to tell me I'm white? Are you trying to tell me
a lot
I'm
of people
white?
like emo.
Because I like them too, and so I felt some type of way when you said all that, and I just didn't understand.
I just didn't want to assume everyone in the room was like, yes, because I'm like, I'm very aware. All right. But like, constantly hearing my mom say things like, why are you listening to this? This is stupid. Why do you like this? Why are you interested in Tim Burton? Or just like the things that was becoming me was getting ripped apart from me at such a young age that when I did hit adulthood and I went into the Marine Corps straight out of straight out of graduation. So I went into a place where I already don't know who I am, because everything I do like has been told there's something wrong with it. Now I need to jump into a men's world. So I've been groomed to be a people pleaser. I've been groomed to be submissive. I've been groomed to be this little like princess who needs to be saved because don't speak up. It's not your place. So to then jump into a man's world, it's like I've had to do so much adapting since I left high school and unparent my parents' shitty parenting so I could reparent myself, so I could parent my children without bringing on any more generational curses and abuse.
Ooh, that's true.
Unlearn
Everything that you just said, it's like all of, like, if you look at all of the shows, like movies, the Cinderellas, all of the wicked stepmothers, they're all narcissists.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what they do. And they're all women. They're covert because they're acting to everyone else. They're like, no, I treat her so well. She's such a good this, that, and the third. And behind, she's like, clean up. You do this. There's nothing good about you. No one wants you. This, that, and the third.
So maybe it would be safer to say that it's even, because really these narcissistic men are coming from mothers that are potentially narcissistic themselves. Maybe it's just they haven't been diagnosed. Like, there's no diagnosis for that.
No, what it is they're covert. Like she said, they're covert.
Yeah.
So no one knows. No one knows that they're narcissists because they're not out here beating, killing, cheating.
Right. The men are kind of like, y'all don't. I had a friend and he said something. He said,
"Show you that I'm a narcissist. I'm gonna show you. I have to physically show it to you. I'm gonna let you know that I'm better than you, and I'm gonna let everyone around me know that I'm better than them."
Right.
And it's like a generational and societal thing too, because men are typically overt because the men before them were beaten by the generations before them who were a part of the revolution, like the Industrial Revolution. So there's no chance for mental health. Back in like the 80s and before, if you say you're going to a therapist, what's wrong with you?
Something's wrong with you.
Are you weak? Are you a girl? Are you wimp? Other words that I don't want to say here, but it's like, men are chastised.
Girl, you can say as many words as you like.
Yeah, Don said we can say whatever we want.
This is our network. This is our network.
It's like the whole, like, don't be a puss. Like, don't be a pussy. What are you crying for? What is it going to do to help? So anytime men are they're showing any kind of feministic vulnerability in like expressing themselves.
Big word.
You're acting.
They're considered. Then they're like, "Are you gay?"
Yeah.
Are you gay? Men are taught already that women are objects, but if you act like them, you're a pussy. So don't be like a woman. just want women. And then women are told, don't be like a man because you're supposed to be feministic. So it's this like weird ebb and flow of two genders that have been funneled down from this like industrial revolution over the last like 100 years. And we're all trying to figure it out now. But you've got like my dad's dad beat the shit out of him. My dad didn't necessarily beat the shit out of us as much, but then trying to impress his father to still prove that he has worth, he jumped into religion and then used God and religion to tell me, well, if you do anything wrong, if you wear nails, if you wear makeup, if you wear dresses, you're going to hell. So
manipulation and control.
I was
You should have
used
said,
with
Dad, did you eat
manipulation and
grapes?
control.
Psychologically.
Did you
Exactly.
eat shrimp? Because all of that is things that you're not supposed to do that's in the Bible. You're not supposed to have shrimp. You ain't supposed to have grapes.
Yeah,
Well,
people pick and
I'm going
choose.
to hell because I love shrimp and grapes.
Yeah,
You know,
pick and choose.
the one thing I do relate with is what she said about us men being told by our fathers or uncles or whoever how you're supposed to be. And then when we get to this age, we're trying to tell our children who they're supposed to be. And the difference I find in that is that, you know, this society nowadays, kids don't listen. So it's like they already come out with their own mind and this is who they want to be.
They come out the coochie now and they know exactly who they are and what they want to be.
Yeah.
At this point. I'm like, you don't even know how to count. Shut up.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not more or less where we had that type of, I want to call it respect, that for our elders, that we just wanted to emulate them more. Now they want to emulate.
So you
at our age.
Are you saying, okay, so I just want to make this clear. You said that, you know, you used to cheat in the past and all this stuff. So some of your elders that you watched and wanted to emulate were cheaters, right? Is it safe to say that?
Absolutely, they were.
I mean, before counseling, I didn't, once again, before counseling, I had to learn everything that I was taught.
So it's safe to say that your environment really shapes who you are. And I think what people like to say is what I do don't affect you, right? But then that's a lie, because
it's parents always say, do as I say,
not as I do.
Yeah.
Always.
Don't do what I'm doing. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Just do what I told you to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But
not realizing, you know, eventually the kid's going to do what you do.
Sponges, they pick up on everything. And no matter what you do, no matter what you say, even if you try to tell them, no, this isn't right. But I saw you do it. So how is it okay for you to do it? And it ain't okay for me to do it.
Right.
Not you want to tell me this is wrong, but you out here doing it.
But see, this is like, once again, this is where you feel like I'm the parent. You're supposed to do what I'm telling you to do.
No, what it feels is that I'm grown, you're not.
And
you should do what I tell you to do because I know better. But the whole thing is parents have to realize that their kids have to make their own mistakes. Because you can
so my thing is, are we passing? Are we passing on the narcissism trait amongst each other?
But what I'm trying to say is, you can tell somebody something a million times until they experience it themselves. They're not even going to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you can tell me, oh, don't touch that, it's hot. I don't know what the hell hot is. How do I know
That's
what
part
the
of
hell
common sense, though. You do it yourself, you will understand.
Until I touch it.
Yeah.
Now, if I touch it and I burn myself, oh shit, I ain't going to do that again.
That's how I understand.
But if I didn't do it in the first place, I'd be like, I don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
So my point is making that, you know, could narcissism be a generational curse?
Yeah, I would say so.
But it can be unlearned. It can be
pretty
fixed,
much like it's a taught trait. It's not just something that you automatically. It's taught. Just like racism,
it can be unlearned.
I think it can be unlearned.
Are taught. Anything with an ism can be taught.
But what I'm saying, what I think that we're not. You read through that list again. Read that list as you said for women. Just read it. And if we're really honest with the way society is set up, even just the social media aspect of life, how many kids do we know that really is like that? Like automatic.
They're highly concerned about their look, which
because
is
that's
very
what
true.
society tells them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at IG.
Look at
Not
IG.
even just
Right?
that, like
Okay, go ahead.
as a black woman, how many times were we told
Talk rainbow.
you're not pretty? That natural hair ain't it. You need to have straight hair. You need your skin needs to be lightened. This, that, and the third. So a lot of people, their appearance is important to them because that's what society tells them.
Right.
And like
That
I
is
said,
so
that's
true, mother.
taught.
Too.
That's something that's taught to them. They don't come out the womb saying, "Oh well, I gotta be pretty." No one knows what pretty and ugly is when you're young.
Yeah.
Everybody looks the same to you.
Well, you know what? Hold on. They
Oh.
did a study with kids in like kindergarten or pre-K, and even kids then knew that the black doll was not considered as pretty.
But why?
That's a whole different
It's
subject.
not-
I think
it's
Your
it's because
home,
of what
though,
they
your
learned.
home environment,
Yeah.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Someone taught them that at home.
Yeah.
Like they was like, "Oh
Watching
well,
TV,
this is
all the
or
cartoons.
TV,
Yeah.
Right.
TikTok,
So,
YouTube's, all of that."
so what I'm saying is that society as a whole, everybody got narcissistic traits. We all do, because technically the way how we have been raised or implemented, or just even social media has been put in, because now we got social media, which makes it 10 times worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
It amplifies it. Absolutely. It amplifies
like
it,
this.
and even it makes other people aware of your narcissistic behaviors because now everyone can see it. Whereas before there weren't, you couldn't tape anything. There was nothing you could put up, nothing. No one knew you was a narcissist because no one knew you.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows you. Everyone knows
So it
you.
stems from, there's some kind of trauma that happens, right? Like there's some kind of psychological trauma that we have all endured, right? If we were honest, like Casey on doesn't matter color lines. Casey, your mom did what she did and you didn't realize that she was a narcissist. I'm sure that everybody's had like this crazy person in our lives that's been narcissistic towards us, right? We still have some kind of trauma.
And
I mean, in my aspect, it seems like it was always outsiders. There was never anyone in my home because everyone in my home was always. Like I just told you, I'm obsessed with my mama.
Mhm.
She always told me I was beautiful. You are the cutest thing ever, even though she was lying to
See,
me.
and that's a narcissistic trait right there.
But
Okay,
she-
highly
the whole
concerned
thing
about
is-
your look. Go ahead.
Wait a
But I
minute,
don't think
Rainbow.
that.
What is happening?
But I don't think that. I don't think.
Oh, I don't care what you think. You can keep it to yourself. You cute.
No, I don't. Girl, I ain't out here.
Highly concerned about looks here. I just
I'm just
that.
saying.
I
I
ain't
thought she
thinking
was saying that she didn't think she was pretty. I'm gonna say
No, girl. I know I'm cute. But what I'm trying to say is,
See, look, more narcissism. Go ahead.
my
She
appearance
scared
isn't
me.
the most important thing to me.
Oh, okay. Me neither.
Your appearance is the most important thing to
It's
you, right?
I be like, God didn't give me much, but He gave me a banging ass personality.
Oh, there
He
you
may
go.
not have given me much, but that He gave me. Don, shut your mouth.
Listen, I'm just going by what you're saying. So the second one was they don't take no for an answer, which clearly, no woman likes to hear the word no.
Look, from who? If you're talking about family members and your man, what you telling me no for? But if you're talking about outsiders, I can give two shits. But if I ask you for something and you my man, you better give it to me. You're damn right.
You should be able to listen. You should be able to take no and be okay with it. Be okay. It's okay. It's okay to hear no.
It depends on what
we have to hear no all the time. So listen, we hear no all the time. Every little thing, no.
It depends on what you tell me no to. Like I said, it depends on the person. It depends on the situation. Outsiders, you tell me no, I'm fine with that. I could care two shits. But if my mama tell me no, if I ask her to do something for me, she tell me no, I'm be like, how dare you, mommy?
You become narcissistic.
I mean,
or narcissism. Okay, all right. You've proven points here, but go ahead. Go ahead. You've proven more points here.
What's the next
I think, I'm going to send you to the therapist in a minute. I can feel it coming.
Oh.
They can flirt with anyone.
The hell no. Can I flirt with anybody? No, I can't.
Yes, don't lie. Don't cap. No capping today.
That's perception, though. That's perception.
Wait,
I feel like
first of all,
that's a
I'm
fair
nice.
one.
You don't think you could?
People
I don't think. Go ahead, Rainbow.
people think, first of all, it doesn't mean I'm flirting, but people tend to take you being nice to them as flirting.
Perception. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So you can't tell me that I'm out here flirting with you because I'm being nice to you.
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
want me to
not
be
out here
mean?
trying to hurt
No,
your
no.
feelings.
It's a way you go about
Nah,
it.
I'm just.
We've had this conversation before.
I
It's
don't
a
want
way
people
you go
out here
about
hating
flirting.
me because
It's a way
there's
you
been
go about flirting.
There's been
If
many
you're
times a man
saying,
has said
if
something
you're
flirtatious,
saying,
and I'm like,
hi,
no,
how are
man.
you doing? And you bat your eyes a little bit. That's flirting. If
Or she's blinking.
Right.
No, she ain't blinking. She ain't blinking.
You know, when I go
Hey, how you
outside, I be
doing?
having on lashes, and them shit be ugly, so I be like this a lot.
I'm
Or
not
looking at
flirting
the
with
floor,
you.
and they think you're crazy.
Like, damn, I'm just blinking.
So
I'm fine. I'm
but
having a
it's
great
just
day.
a mannerism. Mannerisms can be considered flirting. Some mannerisms can be considered flirting.
Maybe
We actually had a
people
show
just
about this.
naturally
That's why I said we
flirtatious and
talked
don't
about
even
this.
realize it. I think that might be me.
But see,
Yeah.
I think there's a healthy dose of narcissism. It's just the problem is when we do, whether it's male or female, when we do have that healthy dose of narcissism, it's the word isn't changed from narcissism to confidence, to self-awareness. Like if a girl,
Yeah, girl, you got some class.
You gonna give her a bomb yet tonight? Cause Casey be damn it.
She do.
Where's the bomb?
But see, like if a
What
woman
happened?
has confidence, if she knows she's beautiful, someone could tell her like me, I have a stress pimple because we've had an effed up week. If someone was to come up to me and be like, "Oh my god, like my kids, what's on your face?" I'll be like, "It's a damn pimple," and I didn't start getting until you came out. So
they are horrible.
But like if a woman is bothered by, the ignorant comments about her body, whether she's overweight, I got a mom bod, okay, and I've done nothing about it. I don't look like an Instagram model, but because I have the confidence to know that I'm okay with the way I look. Like if a woman has a good job, if she chooses to have a career over having a husband and children, well, she's a bitch. She's narcissistic. She's full of herself. And same with a man like Andrew Tate. We can go on that forever, but he's got the job, he's got the money, he's got the women, but it's the way he delivers things that we call him a narcissist.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
And
he
so
says
it's like
you
effed up. When you're so like Andrew Tate, when you're so confident in what you've done to work for your money. Now, I don't approve of him. I don't like him. I don't like what he has to say about women, but he's earned his place. He's done the work. He's made the money. And when he talks about women, it's about the women that want his money, not necessarily like a homely ass, like stay-at-home mom like me. So it's like I try not to be offended by what he has to say, but we call him a narcissist instead of calling him a confident man.
I don't know who Andrew is. I mean,
Andrew Tate, look him up on YouTube.
Is he like Samuels, but a different what?
See, I knew I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
I was just about to, he might be worse.
Really?
And it's like, I'm not trying to attack him. It's just what I am trying to prove is that because as a man, he has the money, he has
the OWOW?
He has the
wow.
We call him a narcissist. Whereas if he was just some regular old dude and didn't have social media, we would say, man, that dude's got a lot of confidence.
Actually, they call him misogynistic. They don't even call him a narcissist.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But it's just like
most
there's
people
a
don't
healthy
even
dose.
I got an oh my,
I'm
God.
sorry.
Like I teach both my
He
kids to
looks
have
like one of the
that
little
healthy
worms from
dose.
Ursula.
Hold on. Let me see somewhere on the list that
I'm mad. You said he looked like one of the little worms from Ursula. Shut up.
Hey, you know what? Take the head off. I'm looking at his body. His body looks really amazing. I'm like, oh my god.
Something. He's not a bad looking guy, but as soon as he opens his mouth and starts talking, you're like,
right down the drain.
You're like,
just shut up.
Really,
just
sir?
put
You
tape
just
over your
messed
mouth.
everything up because you're talking about,
it's good,
and
bro.
it's like he generalizes everything. He's like women,
that's
women,
the
and he
problem.
makes it seem like all women are like this, and that's because those are the women that you attract.
And that you entertain.
Those are the ones that you entertain so you can have something to say. You're not looking for, like he said, you're not looking for a homely woman. You're looking for a bad bitch. So if you're looking for a bad bitch, you have to take what a bad bitch is going to give you. And a bad bitch is out.
That is so not true, but go ahead.
What?
How you feel about that then, Don?
Okay, I want to be.
I I just feel like no, you don't have
No,
to
what
take
I'm trying to say is what they consider bad bitches. Because let me tell you something. When I get dressed up, I'm a bad bitch. But
these
I don't
streets.
act like a bad bitch. When I say bad bitch, I mean those. I'm talking about those women who are only after they're only out there with their main goal is, oh, I look good, so I'm gonna pull me a man.
She want the
that
bag.
has lots of money. He's
She
gotta have a bag. If he doesn't have a bag,
So that would be
I'm
considered a
gonna
gold digger?
Huh?
Wouldn't that
Yes,
be
I
considered
agree
a gold
with
digger?
Yeah.
Whatever he
Those are the
attracts
type of women that
and
those
whatever
are the
he
type of women that
entertains.
he wants, actually, because he's saying, "Oh, well, I don't want this, I don't want this," but those are the type of women you are actually looking for.
He must have listened to Kevin Samuels. Then is what I'm assuming. Was he
He's
out?
actually been out for a long time, just like he was out.
They both been out for a long time.
He's
Before
a
Kevin Samuels passed. Yeah.
of Kev.
Is he even white?
What is he? What's he look? I mean, he don't look black. Is he black?
Looks like he light skinned.
He looks like he got a mixture of a few
He
different
looks like
things.
he might be a mix. He might be. I don't know.
And now y'all calling him a mutt.
God.
You seen his
That's
ears?
one of the best looking mutts. If that's what you want to call him. I would never call a person
the
a
whole
mutt.
thing is I don't know what he's mixed with, so I can't call him Milano because that would be black and white. But I don't know if that's what he is. He could be Spanish and black. Or
Samantha's killing me over here.
I'm sorry.
Are you looking at him too? Because I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm like, oh my god.
To like wrap it all into narcissism though, that's the society's narcissism too, because taking someone like Andrew Tate, that kind of information, that kind of who he is being projected into our teenage boys right now. This
Exactly.
is what you want, man. You want the money, the cars, and the bitches. But
No, not all of us. But go ahead.
Well, not, obviously,
she's saying that's what they're saying. That's what he's saying to
He's,
society.
I get what she's saying. That's what he's teaching.
But see, so women also, like we're in the 90s, we were projected the Disney princess. This is what you want. You want to be saved, you want to be beautiful. Hell, you want to be white. We just recently got our black, like the Ariel. So it's like when you're growing up, you're being told that white, blonde hair, blue eyes, skinny, big tits, big ass, you don't look like that, men won't like you.
Oh no, you didn't have to have a big ass. You just had to have big
they didn't
titties.
want no butt.
Yeah, they didn't have no
They
booty.
didn't want asses.
They threw that in there.
I just wanted thighs. I'm sorry. I've always wanted thighs. I didn't
blonde.
want anything else. But go ahead.
But
You
it's
didn't have
just
to be
that
blonde
like
either.
Barbie effect. Like that's we're told
Pamela
the Barbie
Anderson.
effect is what's beautiful.
Pam
And
Anderson
with men,
or
like my husband,
Wendy Williams.
Right. No, not she said.
No,
Like,
what was?
she said,
Wait
like,
a minute.
what
Wait.
was,
No, I'm talking about the
Pamela
body
Anderson.
shape.
What was the other one? What was the one who died? That was married to the old man.
Cindy.
No, her name wasn't Cindy.
Anna Nicole.
It was Cindy.
Anna Nicole.
Oh no. I wasn't tracking.
Well, and like my husband was born in the 80s, so he was raised with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. So it's like society does project part of like image into you of like, this is what I'm interested in, this is what I need to look for, or this is what I need to be. So now you've got people like Andrew Tate on TikTok, and that kind of information is getting flooded that way. But then you've also got, to be fair, you've got the far less feminists who are like, don't let men hold doors open for you. Don't let them pay their bill. Don't let them open your car door because you can't.
I want all of that.
You
I want it all. I want you to hold my door. I want you to pay my bills. I want you to. What was the last one? Open the car door.
I'm over
it. I want all of that.
Mow the grass.
Shout to Relaxation Hour. They was talking about chivalry this week.
I need you to walk on the outside when we're on the sidewalk. I need you to walk on the outside. I'm on the inside. What else do I need? I need you to be chivalrous. Yes, I need that.
And I do too. I think like society is like feminist. You can call feminism narcissistic, the far ones. Then you can also call it like the women who are not. They're growing out of the 1950s women. We don't need to be saved. It's that balance. The same with toxic masculinity is narcissistic.
But do you feel that that's a problem? Because I think that's a problem.
I can do it myself, but I would appreciate if you did it for me.
I feel like that's one of my biggest problems with women right now.
I would like
What's the problem,
Don?
The overness of trying to be independent.
I think
over it.
we had to be independent because so men are
No,
confused
he's saying
on the roles
overly,
anyway.
overly independent. He's
Overly.
saying
I don't need you to
overly,
do
like she's
nothing
saying
for me.
about these
Yeah.
extreme feminists.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that looks like.
No. The whole thing is I want to be independent, but I also want to be as my co-host on my other show. She's like, I'm an independent dependent. She's like, I don't want to do. I want to have. Yes, I want to work for my own money, but yes, I want you to pay the bills. I don't have a problem with that. Yes, I need you to do manly
I
things
need
too.
you. That's it. That's all I need you to do. I
See,
just
but
need
that's
I need
when
you.
you're overly, you tend to keep saying, women tend to keep saying they don't need us.
I've never said
And
I
They
don't.
want it. They say that, but they really want it. You have to make
But
them
this is
feel
also the
comfortable.
reason why y'all call us
Is they lesbians? Is
They
they
lesbian.
lesbians? Because that's the only lesbians don't need man.
No, but once
They
you get to a certain
lesbians.
level of comfort, the wall comes down and women are really submissive. If you make a woman
Yes.
comfortable to a certain extent, it's impossible for her not to be submissive. If you protect and do everything you're supposed to do, it's almost impossible not for me to just fall
To
back.
let go.
Yeah.
That's very dependent.
I don't want to be
That's shaky.
strong. I want to be soft.
Get to know
I want
somebody.
you to take control.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
Don't cheat.
Yeah.
And give me something to eat every now and then and pay these bills.
Don't lie.
No,
cheat.
I don't need
Give me
something to eat every now and then because I am skinny, but I like to eat, so I need to eat very often. So please feed me often.
Feed you.
Well, I was saying he can cook. Can he not cook? Like some people can cook.
My
Oh,
man,
no.
he's a good cook. That's what I said.
See, that's the thing. Men have stepped up.
Yeah.
To try to be better.
No,
than what
I'm
we
not
was
gonna go there
before.
with you because you say men have stepped up and then women have stepped down. He's trying to say that men want to be committed and women don't. It's a balance. There are men out here who don't want to be committed either.
That is
and then
so
there are
not
women
true,
who don't want
Lovable.
to be committed. Some people just don't want to be in a relationship because they'd rather be by themselves than to deal with a shitty ass person.
Hello.
But if they find someone suitable for them, because like they say, there's someone for everyone. If you find the person who's suitable for you, there's no person that literally wants to be alone.
Right, that's facts. You're right.
Well, let me tell you something. The women who are out here saying that they don't want a man, it's because the men that they have had in the past was shit. And they think that they're not gonna find their match. If they find their match, that woman will change her fucking tune.
Okay.
I so disagree, but go ahead.
It's the
y'all keep saying that, and I love how y'all all say that.
What kind of women are you talking about then? Because
it sounds very poetic.
A different type of woman then.
But
that's
no, it's actually just watching women. Majority of the time, that's all I do is watch, and I intake more and more knowledge so that when I talk, I'm good at it.
But that's because that woman has not found the man who's for her.
Yeah.
I think
most women say, I don't need a man, I can do for myself.
I think what he's saying is like the modern woman, which has been talked about in the manosphere, she's like a nigga. Like, I'm sorry, excuse me, but she is a man, like in real life. Like I've seen them too. I ain't gonna lie. Because I was like, ooh, she played the game better than he did. And so a lot of these men are getting damaged. Because these modern women out here are
why do you think she's like that?
Oh no, they make it that way. Like now, see, men have to take responsibility for the years of crap that good women have to take to create this new woman that you can't handle.
If I could
add, you know what it is? It's because a man's ego is easily broken, easily bruised. Women, we have taken so much shit.
That depends on the man. This state, that depends on the man, because a lot of us men are very confident.
It's not about being confident. No. It's not about being confident. But if a woman cheats on you,
y'all gone.
Oh, she gotta go.
See, wait a minute. But then
she just bye.
Go ahead and sit with
See you later.
Like I had to do.
I think
see, that's different.
You sat here and told us that if he used to be a cheater,
this is the choice.
But
this is the
choice.
choice.
When he cheated, did he expect his woman to get back with him?
He did because is she still with you?
No, he ain't cheating on his wife.
Okay, good.
No, yeah,
All those other women
that's different
back
level.
in the day, Dawn was
Yeah,
cheating on them, and he was like, "If you leave me, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?"
that was the narcissism.
Yeah, see,
Did you
That
say
was all
that?
the narcissism talking. Yeah,
Did he actually say that to people?
yeah. If you want to
Yes.
go, I would tell a woman. I would simply, if you want to go, go. Doors open.
Never.
10
Dawn
for 10, you're never gonna find a dude
Dawn
like
had
me, so I'm
no
not worried
feelings.
about it.
He had no feelings, no cares in the world. But that's because Dawn was traumatized
Wow.
when he was younger, so he ain't know no
I
better.
wasn't traumatized when I was younger.
Yeah,
A
you
woman
was.
cheated on me, and that
Wait,
woman, that
wait.
woman
You
made
just proved what
other
she
women
said.
had to pay for that.
You just proved what she said. She said the man's ego is fragile. You got cheated on years ago, and then you decided to ruin everybody else after that.
Yep,
Fragile
absolutely.
ego.
Did they deserve
No, it wasn't.
it?
Hold on, the ego wasn't fragile.
Yes,
It's
the
just
ego.
that
It was
I
fragile because
said
if
to
you said
myself, I would never let it happen again. And once I said
Fragile
that,
ego.
wasn't fragile. I wasn't destroyed.
Yeah, you
no
were
one said
I
destroyed.
was just
for
hurt.
your
I
ego to
was
be
briefly
hurt,
hurt for a
that you
moment.
had to be down and out and
Good Lord.
bad.
Still in denial. You're in
Wait
denial.
a minute.
But if
Did y'all know
I,
that Tate had a brother?
Yes.
I think so.
God.
She is on there. Why did you get
I'm like, wait a minute. He got a whole
You know, I'm
brother.
gonna really deep dive into this shit.
Oh my God.
But see,
Go ahead, Casey. What you were saying?
I had mentioned earlier something that is only recently really being like talked about is feminine and masculine energy. So when you ask a man, what do you think masculine energy is? They're most likely going to come at you with like some kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, I'm the guy that'll go into battle for you. I'll fight for you. I'll provide for you. And feminine energy is I'm submissive. I'll cook. I'll clean. I'll raise our children. You know, I'll be by your side. Where in the 1950s, that that could be a whole thing, but we could get into the fact that yes, marriages lasted longer, mainly because women didn't have much of a choice. But still,
Right.
the difference between masculine and feminine energy, like me and my husband, and we've talked about this plenty, and I know he's listening, but we've struggled in that because he has had a hard time realizing that your provision does not mean that you deserve me to stay here. That's all you're doing is providing. Whereas on his side, it's like, I'm providing, I'm paying the bills, I'm paying for your food, I'm paying for the gas for the kids. We had a very hard time meeting in the middle, understanding
That's
each other.
not love.
It's not, but I wasn't
I mean,
appreciative
that
of
is
what he was doing.
for some men, that is how they prove, that's how they
Right.
show their love. That is the only way some men know how to show their love, because they don't know how to express their emotions.
And that's
So
because
they figure if I'm providing for you, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing that act of service. That's what it is.
Yes. So
But
you
that's
love
not my
language.
love language, sweetheart.
Well, and it's also the only way that the man in his life showed his father, showed his mother love, is that his father started a business, a plumbing business, and provided. He was a shit father and human being, but he provided. So even if he was beating my husband, even if he was abusing my husband and not showing up and then not paying his mother because they had baby mama drama, it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, daddy showed that he had money to take care of things, regardless of his cheating and his drinking and his smoking and all the other things. So with him, it was hard for me to get him to understand, like, I have now, over the last few years, I have consumed and adapted a more masculine energy because I'm leading this house. You're never here. You're always working. You're providing. I'm leading the kids. I raise the kids. I teach them what they need to know. I get them where they got to go. I teach them about social structures and narcissism and manipulation and gaslighting. My kids, my 7-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter, knows everything we're talking about right now because I've already been instilling it in her for years. And it's like, I've had to take on that masculine role of being mom and dad. Because
okay, but hold on. 1 second.
He's like, hold up.
Wait. I'm just
gonna finish you.
Wait, let her finish.
Okay.
Let her finish her last thing, and then you go ahead.
Yeah, just to wrap that up with its bow is that yes, he's providing, and I will admit here in public that I didn't appreciate it enough, because what I needed was to be asked, I know you just spent 2 days with our 2 little vagina fruits, and they've been touching you and screaming at you and fighting with each other.
I love it.
You're going nuts. You have no friends. Like, I didn't have any friends or family or community. So it would be weeks of me in this house with 2 kids and no social stimulation. So when you come home and you're the only adult I get to interact with, I want to be asked, how are you? I want to be told, you know what? I got the kids. I'm going to put them down. I'm going to do the dishes. And then I'm going to come in there and rub your feet. We'll talk about the day. Because I would rub his feet when he gets home. I would do the dishes before he got home. Like, I was doing all of these things to cultivate an environment so that hopefully if your day wasn't too hard and those kids are melatonin the fuck out, I'm going to get mine tonight.
You just rub on me or something.
Like, I'm serious.
Okay. Hold up. I gotta say this.
Set up an environment so that if he is available, I'm available. But after doing that enough of being like, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for you, to him come home and not be like, hey, I know you've been in the house all day with the kids or all week with the kids. Let's go out. I already planned it. Like, that's the feminine. I would be more in my feminine energy if he took on that masculine energy.
Absolutely.
I have planned the trip. I have planned the lunch. Let's get out. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, that's that whole shift of like.
That's all we be asking for.
Baby.
But hold on, but y'all don't realize. Hold on. Y'all don't realize we're providing. One, and I say this for all of us, man. If he ain't working and taking care of them bills, who else you think gonna do it? If you at home handling what did you call them? Vagina fruit? Yeah,
vagina fruit. Crotch goblins,
but
vagina
fruit is sometimes a
like,
harder job than what you think you doing to provide for me and my vagina fruit.
But that's the thing. I'm taking care of that. People don't understand when we out in this world, like, honestly, when us men are out in this world and we working and working and working, when we come home, yes, we're dead tired. And then you home, you're not, I'm not saying you're not dead tired, you just took care of a whole damn house.
No.
But when we come home, you want us to take that 5 minutes of what we just dealt with in the world and say, babe, you can relax for 10 minutes from dealing with just some kids, with me having to deal with 30,000 different crazy people.
No, you said just the kids.
Right, you said just. Everybody heard the word just.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. Time out. I'm a father of 2 sets of twins.
Right, exactly. So you know.
This morning was goddamn war.
That's why I was like, are you
This morning, hold up. Time out. This morning was goddamn war this morning. I had to take both sets of twins to school, and, you know, moms had to do it. Her mother had to, you know, Joy had to do what she had to do. So I understand. I get it. It's a lot of work.
You said,
yeah, I do get it.
I think you do.
I get it.
But that's why I was just amazed why he just
I get it. But at the same token, I just dealt with, on a regular, everyday basis, I deal with 30,000 different crazy people. 30,000. You dealt with 4 kids or 4 just for one day. And I know the kids, depending on the age group.
You know, one of your kids is a hot
Yeah. I'm just saying in general, you know, you got to understand. See, y'all got me using hand language right now. That's how. God damn, I haven't used hand language in a minute. Hold on, let me put my hands down.
One of them alone, he is a hand fucking full.
Yes, I admit this. And he was the one that was giving me hell this morning.
I bet he was, because he's always the one.
But at the end of the day,
I do see where you're coming from, because what I see now is not something I saw in the moment. I look back now and realize, like, my husband has been a plumber for pretty much the last few years, but in the pandemic, we were running a business together, and he was the only technician. So, and before that, he was a truck driver working 14 to 16 hours. Before that, he was a long haul truck driver. So he's gone for 6 weeks, home for 3 days. And that's where I'm willing to admit I was in my narcissistic self, because I didn't even recognize narcissism till 2019, which is after the fact of all the times that I really was living in my narcissistic era, unwillingly or not unknowingly.
Because you were manipulating a situation by creating an environment.
And I was very self-centered. I was only thinking about myself because I was so overwhelmed with kids and not having my family around, not having friends around.
She was sexually frustrated.
Sexually frustrated. Like, you name it.
We get sexually frustrated too. So don't because when the kids have to pop in and lay in the bed with us in the middle of the night. Shit, I'm sexually frustrated too. So I get it.
If
But
I
you
tell
know,
my husband no, he'll just be like, nah, whatever. If he tells me no, like I will cut you. Don't fucking
You know what
know.
I'm
Are you serious? Like,
That's a
but he would be
narcissist. You
spending
can't take
hours.
sir.
listen,
That's a
My
perfect
husband would be
example.
spending like
it's not a
hours under a
No,
house.
it's not a competition. But I
It's
just
not,
need women
exactly.
to understand. Men, the work situation is real sometimes when y'all are home and we get
It was real for him. Like I never gave him that credit. And I get, again, I can say this looking back now.
Yeah.
Looking back now, I wish I had been in the ability to understand what I was going through. But moving forward now, it helps our relationship now because he would spend hours under a house in a crawl space, hours near a toilet that smelled like rancid chicken shit. Like he would be doing a lot to provide for us. But as soon as he got home, I was just like, okay, thanks. You've been out of the house, but you've been out of the house all day, but you got to talk to people, but you got to see something. And I needed too much.
She needed a friend.
I needed anything to
Like
be
a
able to
date
like
night, like a
rebound
girls' night
off
out.
of
other than the
something.
kids. Yeah, other than the kids.
Right.
Ladies, it's
go
getting
through
late, and I know everybody got something to do.
Right.
So I just want to say one, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. But we close out differently here. But I just want to say, I commend all three of you. Also, I need everybody to go hit up this GoFundMe for Samantha. We definitely need to get her nephew where he belongs, and that's with her and her family. In my opinion,
With
you know
her,
what I'm saying?
with her and his 7 siblings.
Pretty much.
Fact.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, that's and I'm an advocate sometimes of fathers having their kids, but in this type of situation, bro, you wasn't there from the beginning.
He doesn't
don't-
deserve to have a
yeah,
child.
you don't
He
just
really
walk
he
in
really
and-
want the child.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
definitely against this situation.
I appreciate it.
So I always ask everybody how they want to go out. Just throw us a little gem. Samantha, how do you want to go out tonight?
Guns blazing. No, I'm just playing.
Yes, baby. Yes.
No, just please keep in mind that my whole family went through a traumatic ordeal, and some of us are healed. Some people are still going through the waves, and then all of a sudden we got hit with this torpedo out of nowhere, and it's been horrible for the past 2 years. So if y'all could just please hit up that GoFundMe. I don't care if it's $1. If it's $1, if it's 50 cents, I don't care what you put in, I would appreciate it. I think they felt like as long as they cut everybody on my side of the family out, they can play house and they can put anybody in that mother role. And my sister needs all of her props for her part of the DNA that she put into that child. So
Amen.
that's all I'm
Look,
saying.
if 10,000 people give you $1, that's $10,000.
Boom, boom.
And y'all get that lawyer. TK, if you still want to check in, I sent you the info. Make sure y'all two get up with each other, please. KC, how you want to go out?
First of all, just thank you so much for inviting me on. I really enjoyed listening to Mom and Dad battle the whole time. It's like
say Mom and Dad.
It's a lot of fun. But if anyone out there is interested, my husband and I do have our own podcast called Modern Middle Class Marriage, where you kind of get to hear the perspective of two people who have done a lot of growing in the last 10 years of our marriage. And then I have my podcast where I kind of just take on the mom side of frustrations of everything, called The Crotch Goblin Caregiver. You can listen to those both on any platforms, but just thank you so much for having me here tonight.
Definitely. And just by the way, I just all want to let y'all know, once y'all here, y'all become family. So don't think this is a one-time thing. We might have to hit y'all up, y'all doing anything. Come chill with the family.
I would love to talk to anyone who's over 7. So.
Yeah.
Come on. Have a seat. Thank you, Don.
Jamie.
You have to say 8 now. Your daughter is 8, you said.
Oh, she's 8 now. Fuck.
Oh my God.
We family for real. You hear Auntie?
I'm a terrible mother.
Auntie like my niece.
No, you're not. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Don't let me be in a doctor's office. It gets real.
7 many times, and she's like 8. My daughter's 8. I'm like,
She's not even 8. She's like 36 with like 6 divorces under her belt. And some days I'm just like, what hurt you?
Oh my goodness.
Jamie, how you want to go out?
I'm gonna say thank you too. I enjoyed this. And I didn't have any narcissistic stories. Sorry. But I did have narcissistic advice because I've been around those people. But I do want to say, my business is Jay's Butter. That is JAISBUTTER. If you're interested in some great products, hit me up. If not, that's fine. Just go look and share it anyways, because somebody else might be. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Right.
But you're not working.
Right. Thank you. I think that I do want to say this, if we take the time to evaluate ourselves, everybody becomes better in the long run. And be who you say you are. Don't just say it, actually live it. You feel me?
Don't just say it, be it. Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Love it.
That's it.
Rainbow, how you want to go out?
Well, I just want to thank these 3 lovely ladies for being here tonight. This was absolutely amazing. I appreciate y'all very much. I want to thank everyone that commented, everyone that tuned in. And I just want to say thank y'all. God bless and good night. Because, I'm Russell Simmons out here.
Uh-oh.
Yo, I'm going out like always. First of all, thank everybody that tuned in. Thank people in the comments. Make sure y'all, once again, support the show by subscribing or hitting that like button. Share. Or you can show love on that Cash App, $, the Evening Rush.
Send me some
Make
money,
sure
please.
y'all download the Evening Rush Network app, or you can now watch us on the Amazon Fire Stick by going to the Amazon Fire Stick search button, hitting the Evening Rush, and it'll just pop up. And you can stream and hear everything, even the Evening Rush Network radio. So, make sure y'all tune in. Y'all have lots of ways to hear us. And we'll be back next week. Oh, wait. No. That's Thanksgiving weekend. We won't be back next weekend. We'll be back the week following.
Oh, so we don't
I
have
think
a
the
show
first
next
week of December. Nah.
Sounds
The
good to
first
me.
week of December we'll be back. And you know what? I think I want to have Big in the bed. Yeah, that's what I'm going with it, because his mix was crazy tonight. Also, before I seriously forget, Thanksgiving Day, we are having DJs mix it up. They will definitely be playing all day from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So tune in. You know what I mean? You'll definitely get a different mix from each one of our DJs. It will be DJ Snake Eyes. So shout out to my brother Snake Eyes. I appreciate you on that one. DJ Sue Young, DJ GMF, DJ Benjamin, DMB, DJ don't forget. Come on now.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? DJ Suge, DJ Drew, and yeah, that's everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. I love you.
Look, if he didn't miss you and you want to hop on, give him a call.
Definitely. So definitely check out the Evening Rush Network radio and the Evening Rush Network app so that you can hear all the DJs in their entirety all day. And I appreciate you all. You know what I mean? Like always, sleep in peace, bro. Don't forget, December 17th again. And we out of here. Holla at y'all later, man.
Thank you.
You told me I'm a king and a crown fitted. You can catch me in $1,000 outfit.